everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Sinka. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing us how to make this paneled peplum. For this project, I used about 1.5 yard for the whole top. Then again, you will be needing your bias maker to create those bias that I use to pipe the edges. But if you don't have, it's okay. I will show you how you can do without it. Now for the calculation, you'll be needing your waist circumference measurement plus your zip allowance. Then whatever you get, you divide it by the number of panel that you want. In my own case, I make use of 8 panels. So my waist measurement is 32 plus 1 inch zip allowance gives me 33. 33 divided by number of panels that I want, which is 8, gives me 4.1. Plus my 0.5 seam allowance, I now have 4.6. So at first, I'll draw my guideline. Then after that, I'm going to be measuring the length of my panel. The length of your panel is your total blouse length minus your waist length. My total blouse length is 26 minus my waist length of 17. So 26 minus 17 will give me 9, plus 0.5 seam allowance will give me 9.5. So the total length I have here for the panel is 9.5. So I'll make a point at 9.5 and then I'm going to just roll the line. Alright, so this is what I have now. The next thing is to just like from the edge of the fabric, just rule a line so that you can have a specific starting point. Just like this, just rule a line. Okay, so all the measurements will start towards that side. Okay, so now first I measure 5 inches. That is how wide I want the wing to be by the side. Then after that, I measure that measurement that we calculated. Mine was 4.6. So I put the 4.6. Remember the measurements. Then after that, I put another 5 inches. These 5 inches that I added to the sides, they are specific. They are how wide you want the hem of the panels to be. So after that, I just drew these lines. So this is 5 inches, which is the wing. This is my measurement, and that is 5 inches again, which is the wing, the 2 wings by the sides. Then this is the measurement that we calculated. So after that, starting from this point, I'll connect these 2 points together like this. Then I'll do the same thing to the other side. I'll connect them together. I trim off the excess that I don't want. Then I mark the center of the rectangle. So after that, I'm going to measure 2 inches upward from this corner, this way. I'll measure the same 2 inches at the other corner like that. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my ruler to curve it to the center of the drafting. Or better still, you can just fold it into 2 and use your ruler to curve it from that 2 inches to the center like this. Then you cut it out. This way, the 2 wings, you can be sure they are both equal. So after cutting out your panel, the next thing you want to do now is to use this one that you drafted to cut out the remaining 7 pieces. Remember, I told you I want 8 panels for my peplum. So you're just going to be using this to cut it out. Then I'm going to show you now here how you can cut it to minimize fabric. So just this way you cut it out. Then after that, you turn it upside down this way. Remember, it was like this. It was like this before. Just pick it up and turn it upside down. This way you'll be able to use those extensions at the other side. That way you minimize the fabric usage. And that's how you're going to continue until you cut the rest of the panels. Remember, we are cutting 8 panels. So, but then if you don't want to go through the stress of cutting it all individually, you can just fold your fabric into 8 pieces and then you cut it out at once. So now we're going to be cutting out the bias. So first draw a line in an angle like this, just the way I'm showing you here, in an angle 45 degree. Just draw it this way. Then you'll be measuring 1.5 inches interval, just the way I'm doing now. The distance is 1.5 inches. Then after that, you just roll it. And you continue to do that until you have enough bias that you think can be enough to pipe the whole panels. So altogether here, I think I use just half yard of Ankara fabric. So after that, you just use your bias maker to make it into a bias that is folded at the 2 edges, just like the regular bias that we buy in the market. Alright, so after doing that, this is what I have. But if you don't have the bias maker, it's still okay. You can just use it directly and pipe it. Alright, so moving on, you're going to be sewing it all together now. So what you're going to do is to mash the wrong side of the fabric together, right? Wrong side to wrong side this time around, unlike the usual right side to right side, you know. So just mash the panels together, wrong side to wrong side, and then you are going to stitch, because we need the same allowance to be at the right side. So that's why we are joining it together, wrong side to wrong side. So you continue until you join the all 8 panels together. Alright, so I'm done joining all my panels together, and then this is what I have. So if you measure the waistline now, you will have your exact waist measurement plus your zip allowance. All together here now, if I measure it, I will have 33 inches. So let's measure. You can see I have exactly 33 inches. That's why you need to take the measurement and the calculations seriously, because you really want it to be perfect. You don't want to start loosening and adjusting and all of that. So the next thing now is to be using bias to pipe the seam allowance. I joined the panels together with just 1/4 inch. You know, I added just 1/2 inch for allowance, so I will have 1/4 on both sides of the panel. So that's why I joined it with 1/4 inch. So what you're going to be doing now is just to put the bias. You put the seam allowance in between the bias that you have, just the way we usually do for the ready-made bias. So that's the way you're going to just put it this way, and then you continue to stitch it down. Okay, so this is it. So next, now I'm going to show you how you can do it. If you can't handle like putting the seam allowance in between the bias, just open one side of the bias. You open one side this way, and then you stitch it all down. Then when you are done, you turn it to the other side like this. then you top stitch. You know the reason why I'm showing you this, because using the bias, using the seam allowance to be in between the bias can be very difficult sometimes. I remember when I was still learning, it was not it was not easy. So but instead of doing that, you can just do it this way, just that other one is faster. You know, you just stitch it once, like the seam allowance will just be in between the bias, but you know this one you have to first sew it before turning it to the other side. So that's it. You continue to do it until you are done with the whole allowance that you have. So assuming you don't have a bias maker, you didn't use bias maker to create your bias, as it is just the 1.5 inch, just stitch it the way I'm showing you now, this way. Then after that, you turn it like this once, then you turn it again the second time, and then you top stitch. Easy, right? Yes, it's that easy. You don't even need to use the bias maker or whatever, but you know, sometimes you just do these things. All right, so this is how it's going to look if you do it directly that way. Okay, so I'm done piping the all seam allowance with the bias. This is how the whole thing looks. So the next thing you want to do now is to pipe the lower part of the peplum with bias again. And to do that, we turn the peplum to the wrong side. You can see this is the wrong side. This is the wrong side. Then you place your bias at the end of the peplum, the way I'm showing you now, and then you are going to stitch it all around. You stitch it all around. Then after that, you turn it to the right side, and then you top stitch. And then that's basically it. We are done. So the next thing you want to do now is just to join it to the upper part of your blouse. So if you want me to make a tutorial on how I made the upper part, let me know in the comment section. Just indicate so that I can post the video. I actually made the video, but then the way people were complaining that the videos are too long, so that's why I just said, okay, let's stick to the peplum that the poster requested, you know. So the next thing now is just to match the right side of the peplum together with the right side of the half length, and then you stitch it together on the waistline, and that's it. You fix your zip, your top is ready. So let me know in the comment section if you want me to post the video of how I made the upper part of this top, so I can post the video. And this is our beautiful top. You can see the color yellow suits me so well, and I love it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you